Hi, welcome back to Serger Tip Clips. As I mentioned in the cover stitch zipper application, people wanted to know more about how to insert zippers on their sergers. And today we're going to concentrate on doing this in the overlock mode with a cording foot. And you've probably heard me say this if you've heard or been to any of my in-person classes, but just because a foot has a certain name doesn't mean that's all it can do. A cording foot is a fantastic foot to use for zipper insertion, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. Before we go to the machine, I want to show you the anatomy of the foot and why it's so great for a zipper application. This is the piping or cording foot, and it looks just like the other feet from the top, but on the underside we have a little channel which is great for cording or welting, which is what it's named for, but it's also great for zipper insertion because when we put the zipper under that channel, it rides along perfectly. It's so easy to get a perfectly straight zipper insertion with this. And even if your zipper is upside down, when your presser foot is down and it compresses everything, the zipper or the channel will still find those teeth and ride along perfectly straight. So this is my foot of choice for inserting zippers on bags and home dec items when I want to use an overlock stitch. Let's go to the machine and see it in action. I've got my fabric. Now I don't need to use Wonder Tape to apply the zipper on this fabric because the zipper teeth are going to ride very smoothly and steadily into this little channel on the bottom of the cording foot. But if you wanted to use it, certainly you could. I just don't need it. So I'm going to do the same thing you saw in the overlock mode where I've got extra length on my zipper, so I'm going to let a couple of inches hang off at the beginning. And what I'm doing is I'm going to line up the edge of the zipper tape with the raw edge of the fabric itself, the right sides together. The right side of the zipper is against what I'm calling the right side of the fabric. This is a pre-quilted fabric. You could use either side. I decided I want this as my right side. So I've got those done. And I'm going to just slide this under, and what I'm going to do is let that channel ride right along the zipper teeth, and even though they're upside down, it'll still hold it perfectly fine. I'm going to put in my presser foot down, and let me just give you the setup for this. There are a couple of different stitches that you could use for this. If you wanted to do a 4-thread overlock, you certainly could. I decided I can do a 3-thread narrow. So I have my right overlock needle in. I have my stitch length on just a little bit below 3 because I'm going through a quilted fabric with a little bit of batting in it, plus the zipper tape. And my differential feed is on 1 or N, and on this machine I have my stitch selector on B as in baby lock, and I have my knife too. So I might trim off a little bit of the zipper tape. Makes absolutely no difference for the integrity of the stitch or the how well it'll hold up. So here we go. And again, I'm just starting on my zipper tape. It doesn't matter whether you start on that or right in the fabric. And I don't have to fuss around with this one bit because those teeth just ride along that channel. All I have to do is just make sure my zipper tape stays even with the raw edge of the bag fabric. Stitch right off the edge. Pivot my zipper tape out of the way and just clip my thread, and let me show you what we have. So when I turn this over, I could give this a a press at the iron, but I'm not going to do that right now. You can see it is absolutely perfect and even from one edge to the other. So just to make sure that I have my fabric aligned perfectly, I'm just going to make a tiny little snip even with the edge of the fabric on either end of the zipper tape, and that'll give me a perfect position line for the second edge. So you can just see a little bit of a snip on either edge. Actually, that one is so, oh, there it is. Okay. So I know I can align my fabric with that. Now, all I have to do with this is just turn it over. Again, it's right sides together. Let me find my little clip. This one I made so small that I can hardly even see it. Let me just double that and check it again. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we are all set on that, and we're going to do the exact same thing all over again. So let me raise my pressure foot, get the zipper teeth in the little channel under the cording foot, put my pressure foot down, and some people like to press the zipper tape open a little bit just to make it easier, but it just probably just depends on the zipper. I find that with these zippers, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Again, a little bit of it will be snipped off, but here we go. Okay, so we're all set on that end. And so let's turn it right side out. This is what we have so far. So let's make life easy and open up the zipper. Turn it right side out. We can zip it back up again to make it easy to show you. It's absolutely perfect. Now, again, I would go to the iron and give that a quick press. But just to save time, let me show you how to quickly finish off this little bag. I don't like to put the zipper right on the very top. You certainly could. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like to move it down. So I will take my little clear ruler and measure, oh, maybe about a generous inch or inch and a quarter down. But then just to make sure that that's even, again, I'll make my little snip, and you'll see why, right at that top fold. And then come across. I'm just eyeballing it on this one, but on other ones, I would really get out my ruler and measure for precision. Make a quick little snip right there. So now the other thing that you have to remember, and we've all done it, is you have to remember to bring your zipper pull inside the bag, because this is going to get trimmed off by the knife on your machine. And if your zipper pull is out there, guess what? That gets trimmed off too. So we'll pull that in. Let's turn our bag inside out again. This is just such a nice little thing to do, and you can whip these up in no time. I'm looking for that little clip, and here we are. And because I didn't press this with the iron, I'm just going to have to really hold this zipper open with my finger as it goes under the presser foot, just to make sure it does stay open. I don't want the bulk of that, and it might interfere with the zipper opening and closing. So, and I can just leave my cording foot on, or you can, if you really feel better about switching over to your standard foot, perfectly fine to do that too. So I'm just going to put my pressure foot down, and again, I'm going to keep a pretty secure hold on my zipper to keep it flat. And you can just trim off 1/8 of an inch. Now I need to raise that foot just to get that zipper tape nice and flat under there for that starting edge. And you want to slow down as you're going over the zipper teeth, and don't use a metal zipper. I didn't mention that before. Believe me, you'll break your needle. Definitely use one with the nylon teeth. So there's one side done. Okay, I'm ready for the second side, and now because this side of the zipper needs to stay open, I need to hold those teeth together so that it closes properly. So I've got my little clip of the fabric as the guide for that top fold, but I want to hold these in place, and it's a lot to manage all by hand. So one of my favorite little Serger notions is Wonder Clips, and these are the little mini Wonder Clips. They're so cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that down, and you can see that is even going to hold the zipper flat, so I don't have to fuss around with that by hand. Then I'm going to put the other side of the zipper teeth right up against the first side. Make sure my edges are nice and even, and I'm just going to pop another little Wonder Clip in here. And that way I don't have to manage any of this as I'm stitching along. So let's get under the machine. I'm going to get this in under, just like this, and just trimming off a little bit along the edge. And I am just gonna, okay, I'm gonna take out that first Wonder Clip, and I'm gonna hold that zipper tape nice and tight so it stays flat. And it's trimming off. And now we're getting up to the second one too, so that's okay. Done. So let's turn it right side out and see what we have. Another good reason to keep your zipper open is so that you can get at the zipper pull and open it up even a little bit more to make it easy to turn right side out. And I will use my double-eyed needle and thread those thread tails in afterwards. But let's turn it right side out and take a look at what we have. And again, I'll give this a final press just to give it a nice look. So here we go. Here we have our little zipper bag, all done. Thanks again for joining me today for this zipper application in the overlock mode. And if you have any questions or suggestions for upcoming tip clips, email me at gail@gailpatrice.com. Thanks for joining me. See you again soon.